Clint Eastwood was told to wait outside by airline staff. What happened next exposed a shocking truth that no one saw coming. Before you scroll past, hit like and subscribe because this story will blow your mind and make you rethink how we treat others. Clint, disguised and tired from travel, stood ignored and dismissed. But little did the airline staff know, their mistake was about to cost them everything. Imagine being brushed off like you don't matter, and then turning the table so hard that the entire company shakes. What if one man's silence was about to become the loudest statement ever made? Wait until you hear what Clint did next. It's a moment of justice you won't forget. Have you ever been ignored or humiliated in public? What would you do if you had the power to change everything with one move? Clint stood quietly outside the counter, the cold air biting through his coat as the airline staff went about their business, unaware of who they had just dismissed. The tension in the air was thick, but Clint's calm didn't break. Minutes later, a sudden announcement crackled over the airport loudspeakers, an urgent security alert. The airline's entire system was being hacked and all flights were grounded. Chaos erupted as passengers panicked and staff scrambled for answers. Then, in a twist nobody expected, Clint Eastwood stepped forward, not as a passenger, but as a man with a secret. He pulled out his phone and began coordinating with cybersecurity experts he had contacted earlier, revealing that he had anticipated such a move after noticing suspicious activity online. The airline's pride turned to panic as Clint's quiet presence became their only hope to regain control. What if the very man they humiliated was the key to saving hundreds of lives? How would you react if you were in their shoes? Would you admit your mistake or double down on ignoring the truth? As the airport plunged into chaos, Clint's calm became a beacon. He guided staff through emergency protocols while calmly speaking into his phone, coordinating with the cybersecurity team. The airline's managers, who had dismissed him moments before, now watched in disbelief as Clint took charge. But just when it seemed the crisis was under control, another shocking twist hit. The hackers revealed they weren't after money or data, but something far more dangerous. Sensitive information tied to government officials traveling on the flights. The stakes shot through the roof. Suddenly, Clint wasn't just a passenger or a hero. He was at the center of a political storm that could shake the nation. What if this incident wasn't random but part of a larger conspiracy? Would you trust Clint to uncover the truth? Or would the airline try to silence him to protect their own? Tell me, how far do you think this goes? The tension in the airport was unbearable as Clint Eastwood confronted the airline's CEO in a closed-door meeting. Clint's voice was steady but fierce. You ignored me outside, but now you're me. Company is paying the price. This isn't just about flights, it's about trust and safety. The CEO tried to defend the staff's behavior, but Clint wasn't having it. Suddenly, an unexpected ally emerged. A young whistleblower from inside the airline stepped forward, revealing a cover-up that allowed security flaws to go unchecked for months. The revelation stunned everyone. What if the real villain wasn't the hackers, but the company itself? Clint's mission shifted from crisis control to demanding justice for every passenger endangered by greed and negligence. Would the airline take responsibility or try to bury the truth? What would you do if you were in Clint's shoes? The final moment arrived as Clint Eastwood stood before a packed press conference, the world watching. With the whistleblower by his side, Clint delivered a powerful statement. When people are ignored and mistreated, it's not just an inconvenience, it's a danger. This company must be held accountable. Cameras flashed as reporters bombarded the airline's executives with questions they couldn't dodge. Then, in a jaw-dropping twist, evidence surfaced, revealing the airline had knowingly cut corners to save money, putting thousands of lives at risk. The company's stock plummeted, and top officials resigned amid the scandal. Clint's quiet strength had sparked a nationwide demand for reform in airline safety and passenger rights. What if one man's dignity and refusal to be ignored could change an entire industry? Would you stand up when treated unfairly or walk away? Let me know in the comments because sometimes the smallest acts of courage create the biggest change.